Hey guys, Rob here. I actually want to share with you a little bit about my knowledge of LinkedIn that I've picked up over the last few years since I've been in the consulting community. And I also want to just share with you as well, like how much this community and, consulting.com has really shaped and changed my business. So a massive shout out to, the whole team there, Jesse, Sid, Sam. Special shout out to Nick Hauser, who I've questioned, and he's taught me some really magnificent things. So if you're ever stuck with anything in your business, get yourself into those Q&A calls because they are worth the price of this course alone. So let's just get straight into it. I used to struggle a lot with LinkedIn, and I actually specialized in it now, and I've done consulting in it, I've done coaching in it. And there's some things which I'm going to try and give you and teach you, which are really core and sort of fundamental things that you should be doing with your LinkedIn if you're struggling to generate calls organically. Now, I'm going to try and do this video all in one go. I probably will end up screwing it up. If I do it all in one go, I'll just share a Loom link. If I end up screwing it up, I will upload it to a YouTube video. But regardless of what platform I upload this video to, please, if you have any questions, comment it below on the actual school thread so I can jump in and help you out as much as possible. And so other people actually can see it as well and learn from it. So please just try not to directly message me. Please keep it to the school thread. Now, a few things that you actually want to know about LinkedIn is, I'm going to attempt to draw on here. All right, that's P. That stands for profile, that stands for messaging, and that stands for content. Now, these three here, profile, messaging, and content, are pretty much the core fundamentals you need to know to organically get calls on LinkedIn. I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of each and systematically kind of go through each of them. So let's first of all start off with your LinkedIn profile. Now, what a better way to demonstrate a LinkedIn profile than actually break down and walk through somebody else's, right? So when you create your LinkedIn profile, know that I've tested this a lot over the years, and people generally only look in a few areas when they look on your profile. They will generally look at your profile picture to see if you're a warm, friendly person. They'll then read your tagline underneath your profile to see what it is you do. And then after that, if you pass both of those tests, they have a tendency to come down and read your about section here. So it's mainly those three sections on your profile that you want to be getting right. You basically want to be warm and friendly in your profile picture. Maybe, take one with you just smiling or something like that. With the headline here, you want to try and hook people in a little bit, tell them about what it is you do, but also try not to blend into the crowd too much. And the reason why is because you want to basically encourage them to continue reading. For the About Me section here, it's mostly effective when you talk a little bit about your niche's pain points, talk a little bit about where they want to go, what it is you do, and also give them a call to action at the bottom. So I know a lot of you on the course, you use either Schedule Once or you use Calendly. Put your calendar link at the bottom there. It's quite rare that people will have a tendency to read the rest of your profile. They might look at the recommendations down here. And if you've got this featured section here, you probably want to be including testimonials in here. However, please understand that people who are looking at your testimonials, usually they have to be pretty into what you do to actually want to look at the testimonials. So these are the bits which are the main bits. So just to recap there, your profile picture, your headline, your About Me section. There's a few people who've read over the years. I always change my About Me section to just test new things, but there's a few people over the years that have commented to me being I've read your About Me section and it sounds exactly like what's going on with me right at the moment. So that's a good indication that it's actually resonating with your market, is Sam talks about, getting that message that resonates with your market. Usually on your own profile, you will see some statistics down here. You'll have how many people have viewed your profile in the last, I think it's 90 days, how many people have viewed your content, and how many times you've appeared in search results. Now, let me just tell you, there's a lot of different thoughts on like how much your profile has appeared in the search results and like how much it matters. And the reason why is because if you have like special keywords, which your niche is likely to search on your profile, then people are more likely to find you. So say, for instance, if somebody types in LinkedIn coach, all right, I spelled LinkedIn wrong, that's absolutely embarrassing. So if they type in LinkedIn coach and then like search like that, a person who's got a lot of LinkedIn coach in their profile, they're more likely to appear on the top of this list. However, let me just tell you this. I don't think it's very important. I think you should actually ignore that number. And the reason why is because over the years, LinkedIn has got so busy with so many people moving to the platform, trying to peddle their own service. A good example of this is in 2019, I typed in LinkedIn coach on Sales Navigator, which is the premium version of LinkedIn, and it gave me 1,000 results for like the whole world. So 1,000 LinkedIn coaches in the whole world. In 2021, there's 100,000 LinkedIn coaches. So you can see just how like big the ocean has got, how many, like how much supply has happened as well. So I don't think that's very effective. I'd focus on like the first core bits that I mentioned before, which is getting your headline right, making sure you've got a nice profile picture, making sure your about me section's right, getting a little bit of social proof in there as well. Could be testimonials just for those very few people who are actually interested in what you do. So let's talk next about LinkedIn messaging. Now, the number one question I get at this bit is, what do you say in the LinkedIn Messenger to get somebody from like just a connection and start a call with them? What's the number one thing you say? And let me just tell you this, there is no number one thing you say. It's honestly about knowing your audience and who you're speaking to. So for instance, let's just take life coaches, for instance. If I was speaking to life coaches that have been life coaches for 5 years, I would be speaking to them very, very differently than if I was speaking to a life coach who is only just turned into a life coach. Just using life coaches as an example. And the reason why is they all have different wants, different needs, and most importantly, if they've been on the platform LinkedIn for a bunch of years, they've probably received a ton of pitches by that point. So those types of messages are going to be ineffective. So what I would do is try to establish the signal from the noise, as Sam talks about. I think it's in week 1, module 3 or module 4, something like that. I try and establish the signal from the noise. And the reason why is there's so much noise when it comes to LinkedIn messaging. Some people are saying, never send outbound messages to people. You should only do content. The other people are like, you should only build relationships with people over Messenger, never pitch. The other people are like, I don't want somebody starting a false relationship with me. Instead, I wish they would just get straight to the point and pitch me. So understand there is really no right answer here. And the people who are extremes in any of these equations, as Sam talks about, they are the noise. And they are usually peddling their own service, right? So the content creators are all like, only produce content. The people who only do Facebook ads are like, LinkedIn doesn't work very well anymore. You should just do Facebook ads. Lo and behold, conveniently, they offer those services. So try your best to look at and filter the information that you're receiving and the advice you're receiving, particularly on LinkedIn, because I see tons of LinkedIn posts about this. And to try and test them yourself, see what is effective for you. I think you should never pitch on the first message ever. I don't think it ever goes anywhere. I think we can all agree that is ineffective. But you could get to the pitch quicker with some people in comparison to other people. So for instance, I've got a friend, he does like 30K a month. I think he's like helping accountants or something like that. And I was having this discussion with him, and he was like, he was like, the type of people I talk to in the accountant industry, he was like, they don't have time to have a back and forth over LinkedIn. He was like, they want to know exactly what I offer and how I can help. So he was like, he connects with them, sends them like an initial message, and then cuts the crap and gets straight to the point with them, because that's what they respect. For other people who have maybe been pitched a bunch of times on the platform, maybe like coaches, consultants, all like the popular crowd, maybe they would appreciate you actually attempting to build up a bit of a relationship with them first, rather than just going straight in being like, hi, I help blah, blah, blah with blah, 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 and you are going to be my next client. Jump on a call with me right now. So they would probably appreciate, more of a touch-based thing as well. So on the flip side of the spectrum, I had a client who was reaching out to, he's basically reaching out to quite a highly sought after audience that have probably been pitched a bunch of times. And he was going in with the pitch too soon, like my buddy who was helping accountants. And basically he was getting rejected and he was actually getting rude responses. And the reason why is because he was blending right into the crowd by going for the pitch pretty quickly. These guys actually wanted more of a relationship. They're human beings. They felt like they wanted to be respected. They wanted somebody to actually talk a little bit about them. So to give you like a real life example, I went to a wedding after party with my girlfriend a few weeks ago, and we were stood at the bar. And I just made small talk with the guy next to me. I was like, I better not have too many of these whiskeys because, I'm in early in my business tomorrow. And then he was talking back to me and we ended up having something in common. I was like, oh, no way. Like where you work, I've got this friend who blah, 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 who, has something in common with him. And it was just a completely natural conversation. This guy ends up asking what it is I do. And it turns out that I can actually probably help solve his problem. And he's probably at some point in the future going to become a client. Now, the interesting thing here is look how natural that conversation was. I just made a bit of small talk with the person. The person liked me, like trust was built up just in that conversation. And for some reason, when it goes to like the online world, people completely forget that it's a human sat behind the keyboard on the other end. So they just go into this like instant pitch mode. So what I would say is always read the person. Think, does this person actually get pitched a lot? Does this person actually not get pitched at all? Is this person very busy? Are they most likely wanting me to get straight to the point? So think about this when you're sending out your messages, and then follow like a messaging sequence that's actually appropriate for them. So for instance, if they want a relationship built up, maybe you would connect with them. Maybe you would then send them a message thanking them for the connection, asking a little bit about what they do. Maybe they would then like draw, something in common from their profile. Oh, hey, I didn't realize we went to the same high school. Isn't that amazing? How was this teacher in this particular class? See how natural this is? And so you do this business and I can actually help with that. Do you have any of these issues? It's very, very natural, and the person's more likely to actually connect with you on a deeper level and respond to you and feel safe jumping on a call with you when you actually, make an offer to jump on a call with them, see if you can help them with your service. With that said, though, you always want to be tracking what you are doing. And Sam has got an amazing spreadsheet. I think it's in week 4. And this spreadsheet is where you can track your numbers of how many messages you're sending out to people. Now, I will be sending a particular type of message out to a group of people and seeing how they respond to it and logging all of your numbers. Then if you're getting like rude responses or people aren't like answering you well, or, the conversation's really going nowhere, then it's probably the wrong approach for the type of people that you're targeting. I also see another pitfall for entrepreneurs is they will literally send out like 5 messages or something like that. That's a number 5. They'll send out like 5 messages to people and then be like, oh, this isn't working. No one's replied to me. I've sent out hundreds of messages before I ever got my first phone call. And what some things are is, as Sam talks about, there's like regression to the mean, there's patterns as well. And as long as you're tracking these numbers, you can regulate your emotion. And again, this is something that Sam talks about. And you can actually see what is working. If you're sending out the same message to these people and you have like a whole bunch of data that you can actually sit back and objectively analyze and be like, oh, you know what? These people didn't respond to this, but when I changed this one line, suddenly the responses opened up. Very, very important that you are tracking. Now let's look at content. Now, content is a bit of a slow burner. You have to build up a little bit of a following on LinkedIn to ensure that people are actually reading your stuff. And LinkedIn at the moment, I don't really know what's going on with it, but it seems to be kind of the new influencer platform. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about, but everyone seems to be making like these posts, these like inspirational posts that seem to be like virtue signaling a little bit. And basically the feed's very, very, very noisy at the moment, and because of this it's actually quite hard to stand out. However, you can stand out by providing pure value to the stage. However, you have to realize people are making these types of posts on LinkedIn because they are working, but also they are easy to do. So what I would say is provide a little bit of value on your platform, provide a little bit of value in your content posts as well. Do things which are standing out from the crowd, do things which are a bit harder to do, because I've spoke to a lot of these, inverted commas, influencers on the platform, and some have 50,000 followers. They'll make like one post and within 30 minutes, they'll have like something ridiculous, like hundreds of comments and thousands of likes within 30 minutes. And basically what's happened is like they aren't actually getting any clients from this. So don't be fooled by people who are popular on the platform, because they probably aren't actually getting any clients. Do your best to just think of the people that are currently in your inbox at the moment who might be checking you out because you've just offered to jump on a call with them, and be mindful of the type of content they would like to see that deals directly with their insecurities there, and maybe handles some objections for them as well. So I really hope this is helpful for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. Again, please just keep them to the school comments underneath. I'll do my best to try and come around and help you with all of them. And then other people can read those comments, and we can all like sort of learn from each other as a community. Oh, this is really helpful. Take care.